welcome back to my channel. My name is Morgan and today we're going to be going over my overly ambitious fall TBR. For me, fall resides in the months of September, October, and November. I'm pretty sure fall technically starts in the middle of September, but I'm not gonna even pay attention to that. I know when fall in my heart starts. I love fall. I think it's probably one of my favorite seasons, if not my most favorite. Yeah, I just think I love the coziness. I love wearing sweaters, tea, hot chocolate. I see a lot of my family in the fall because of Thanksgiving. So for me, fall has always meant just like being surrounded by loved ones. So yeah, a lot of rambling for me to say I'm really excited for fall. I don't really have a lot of plans per se, but there's a lot I want to get done. I have a lot of reading goals. I have a lot of life goals. I have a birthday coming up in fall, so I'm excited. But without further ado, let's get into the way too many books I have on my fall TBR. I should have counted how many. I want to say it's like over 30. I have these grouped by genre. It's just mostly vibes unless I know it's a little bit more fall themed. These are going to be a mix of books that I have on my actual physical TBR and then also ones that are on Kindle Unlimited that I would really like to read. So we're going to start, of course, with the mystery thriller genre. I save most of my mystery thrillers for fall because I just think it fits the vibes perfectly. I want to be a little spooked. I mean, I don't really want to. I don't read a lot of mystery or thriller just because I get really bad anxiety sometimes when I'm reading, and I'd rather not. However, I have a very ambitious goal this fall to get to all of the mystery thrillers, not only on my shelves, but some that I want to get, that I want to buy, including Riley Sager books, and do a tier ranking video. Everybody I watch on YouTube absolutely adores their books and just eats them up. So that is a goal of mine. I don't know if I'm going to achieve that this year, but I really want to. But for books I have on my physical TBR, oh my goodness, in the thriller mystery genre, starting with Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. I really only got it because one person on YouTube read it and absolutely raved about it, and I was like, I need it. So as far as I know, this is kind of like a comedic mystery book, a little bit of a cozy mystery, and as the title states, the main character, everyone in his family has killed someone, including himself. I'm pretty sure in this book, his whole family goes on a family retreat, family vacation, and someone dies. And that is where the mystery lies, I believe. Not positive, honestly. I could be saying it wrong, but I am really excited to get to this book. I just think it'll be a super fun mystery, something that won't make me too anxious. Next, we have If We Were Villains by ML Rio. I have had this book for years. I think I got it, dear, I don't even remember when I got it, but I know it was a very long time ago. I did actually start it. I have a bookmark in here that's like 30 pages in, but I feel like I got further than that. Not sure, but this is about a group of college students who go to like a theatrical college. One of them dies and there is a mystery around that. I have been putting this book off for so long because I know there are a lot of Shakespeare references in here, and when I was younger I didn't really read Shakespeare in many of my high school classes, so I did not know what was going on and I felt really stupid while I'm trying to read this. Now, having gone through 2 college degrees, I have read lots of Shakespeare and I feel like I would probably get a better handle on all the references and probably enjoy this a little bit more. Next we have All the Dark Places by Terry Parlato. I don't know what this is about at all. It's just on my shelf and I figured I should probably read it because it is a thriller. It's been on there for a while. This next one is one of my more ambitious books for this genre, and I have The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by Arthur Conan Doyle. Obviously, these are very popular stories. They've been adapted into TV shows and movies, and I have had this book for so long. It is like all damaged on the back. I don't know from what, but this is a really beautiful Barnes & Noble copy I got years ago, and I just never read it and I really want to. Well, and I also have a goal this year to read 2 classics, and I'm hoping this ends up being one of them. And then finally, for books on my physical TBR for this genre, I have The Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is a series about a group of teenagers who have abilities that help them solve crimes, so they're recruited by the FBI to solve crimes. I got these ones because I heard it's giving Criminal Minds, and I watched Criminal Minds so much growing up. My mom loved that show. She loves the reboot. I can't watch the reboot because it makes me too anxious. I don't like when the main characters get involved in the drama. I just like it when they solve the crimes and then they leave. But I'm really hoping to get to this series. I've heard so many people absolutely rave about it, so that is a pretty big undertaking, but I think I could get it done this season, this fall. Next up, we have fantasy. I don't really get into fantasy very often. I have a hard time like understanding the worlds just because I can't see images in my head, but I do have a lot of fantasy books that I want to read. I have definitely grown to appreciate fantasy more, I think, this year that I've been on YouTube. I haven't read very much, but the ones I have read I have enjoyed, so I'm excited to keep diving into fantasy and get to know the genre better. On my physical TBR, I have Finale by Stephanie Garber. This is the last book in the Caraval trilogy. I am really invested in that trilogy right now, and even though this isn't necessarily a fall book, fantasy for me feels fall, and I really just want to get this series done this year, and I think fall would be a great time to do that. Next, I have Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. I heard that this is a very cozy fantasy, which I think would be perfect for fall. Fall for me is cozy fantasy. As far as I know, this is about a girl in the Regency era of England who was cursed by fairies to only have half a soul. She has no sense of fear or abandonment. That's the curse that the fairies gave her. Now she's of the age where she has to find a husband and she has to navigate the world of courting with this curse that she has. I've seen a couple people really love this book, and then a couple people will not like this book at all. I'm really interested to see if I will enjoy this cozy type of fantasy. Next, we have The God of Endings by Jacqueline Holland. I don't know what this book is about, but again, it's on my shelf, and I figured fall, I don't know, this one might give a little bit more winter now that I think about it, but I would like to get to it this year. I want to get it off my TBR shelf. Finally, for my physical TBR books, I have the Throne of Glass series. I only have the first 3 books. Well, I have the first 2 books with the old covers. I got these when I was younger, and I read the first book, but I do not remember anything about it, unfortunately. And then I have Assassin's Blade with the new cover, which honestly, I prefer the new covers over the old covers, but that's just me. I really want to read this whole series. That was one of my goals for this year, was to read the whole series. Will I get through it? I'm not sure. I only have, what, like 5, no, not even September, October, November, just 4 months left to read however many books. I don't know. This might be controversial, but I will start with the Assassin's Blade. I only have the first 3 books in physical format, but I will probably pick up the other ones. I'm also so tempted to buy these 2 books in the new covers, but I do not have the money for that. So I do have a few books on Kindle Unlimited that I want to get to that are fantasy. First is A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal. I've heard a lot of people really love this book. It's a young adult fantasy. I also have One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig on here. I've heard it's a little bit of a spookier fantasy, something to do with tarot cards. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people really rave about that duology, and I figured since it's only 2 books, it's not a bad series to start and finish this year. Heartless Hunter by Kristen Cicerelli is another one that I've heard a lot of people really loving right now. The next 3 books for me kind of are not really so much fall as winter, but if I could get to them in the fall, I'd be happy about it. I have Quicksilver by Callie Hart, When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker, and The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. The Serpent and the Wings of Night I think is like right on that line because it's about vampires, so for me that gives a little bit more fall, but the covers of all of them give winter, so I don't know. I'm really conflicted about when to read those, if I'm even gonna get to them, but that concludes the fantasy category. Next we have lit fic. So first I have Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. This cover, peak fall vibes, peak academia fall vibes to me. As far as I know, this is about a woman whose son falls ill to the plague, the Black Death. I think her husband is Shakespeare. I'm not positive. I got this because I saw someone on YouTube read it and talk about how much they loved it and how much they cried while reading it. And again, I'm not a huge Shakespeare person. I've read quite a bit of it. never really loved it, but I just absolutely am obsessed with this cover, and it's pretty short, so I feel like it's manageable. Next, we have the Essex Serpent by Sarah Perry. I've had this on my TBR before, but I think this cover is just so fall. I don't even know if this takes place in fall. I know that this is a historical fiction set in London, and that's about it, but I just am in love with this cover, and hopefully I'll get to it in the next couple months. Next, we have The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry by Gabrielle Zevin. I haven't read Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I want to, but this is a literary fiction book about A.J. Fikry, who owns a bookstore, and one day he's surprised by something. I'm not sure what, but a lot of people on BookTube have been loving this book, obviously, and I would really like to get to it, and it's another short one that I think I could easily get to in the next couple months. This one I'm a little unsure about, but I have Flowers in the Attic and Petals in the Wind by V.C. Andrews. Again, I don't know anything about this book. It is absolutely massive. I'm pretty sure it's 2 books bound into one. The only reason I bought this was because it's mentioned in Jenny Han's The Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy, and I love those books, and I figured if the main character of those books loved this book, then I might as well give it a try. I feel like the cover is definitely giving fall though, so it's probably not fall related, but for me, it's gonna be. And then finally for Litfic, this is another very ambitious one. I have Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I have had this book for years. It's another Barnes & Noble copy. I think it is gorgeous. I have tried to read this book so many times and I just have never gotten into it, but I absolutely love the movie, so I really hope that this year, when I try once again to read it, I actually get through it, because I want to read 2 classics this year. This would fill out the other option for that. Finally, we have the romance genre. I think for me, it's really hard to find romance books that are fall themed. I feel like romance is such a spring and summer genre that I don't see very much of it in the fall. But I have 2 books on my physical TBR. First is November 9 by Colleen Hoover. I know there is a lot of backlash about this book, but I own it and I would just like to read it to get it off my TBR. But basically it is about a guy and a girl who meet one day on November 9th, and then they agree to keep meeting on that date over and over again for years, I'm pretty sure. It's in the fall TBR because November 9th for me is in the fall. And then I have a novel love story by Ashley Poston. This came out in June. I love Ashley Poston's writing. I have said that time and time again on this channel. I think that her stories are just perfect, cozy romances, and I've heard this one in specific is really perfect for fall. This book is about Eileen, who gets lost on her road trip to somewhere, and she ends up getting lost in the town that her favorite book is set in. That's all I know about it. I think the cover is gorgeous, and I am so, like, I think out of all the books that I've talked about today, this is probably my most anticipated read. I know as soon as I can, I will be binging this book. I'm so excited. I do have a couple romance books on Kindle Unlimited that I would like to get to in fall. The first is Play Along by Liz Tomford. That is the 4th book in the Windy City series. This book follows Isaiah and Kennedy. Isaiah is a MLB player and Kennedy is one of the, what are they called? Like the physicians on the team. She like a sports physician, physical therapy, that type. I don't know. I absolutely love the Windy City series by Liz Tomford. I have given most of the books 4 stars or above, and I'm really looking forward to this one. It's another baseball romance. The last one I read by her was a baseball romance, and I love baseball, so I'm excited. The next book I have is Assistant to the Villain. I think this is also can be categorized as fantasy, but I think it's more so romance if I heard correctly. I don't know much about this book other than the main character is an assistant to a actual villain and there is a romance between them. I just think the cover totally gives fall. I honestly might go buy the physical copy though because I absolutely love the cover. I think it is so fun and cute. Finally, I have A Photo Finish by Elsie Silver. This is the 2nd book in the Gold Rush Ranch series. I read the 1st book in that series and I liked it. I didn't love it. I think really the only reason it's on this list is because I think the cover really gives fall vibes. So yeah, that is my fall TBR. I know it's a lot of books. I don't know if I'm gonna get to all of them, but yeah, let me know what is on your guys' TBR down in the comments, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!